And it's time for another Macro Monday where I get you ready for the week ahead in 5 minutes or less. Just a reminder, as always, this is just a small snippet of our full Macro Monday newsletter. So if you're looking for more in-depth coverage on the week ahead, I highly encourage you to check out the link that I'm going to put in the description of this video. It is to our full newsletter that comes out every Monday morning. If you enjoy these videos, I think you'll really enjoy the full thing. Okay, so with the shutdown finally in the rearview mirror, we now find ourselves in catch-up mode as delayed government data begins to trickle out. Last week brought the long-awaited employment report for September, when that came with a mixed bag of positives and negatives. The headline payroll gain of 119K came in well ahead of expectations, but the unemployment rate also ticked up slightly from 4.4% from 4.3%. Alongside a few green shoots in the employment components of the regional ISM surveys, which are historically a leading indicator for labor markets, the data currently suggests that the job market continues to slow, though only modestly, and not in a real recessionary way. We'll be paying close attention to the consumer confidence release this week for insights on where the labor market might be headed. As sentiment data from the University of Michigan remain near cycle lows, inflation and affordability challenges continue to weigh on optimism. Even as the financial market returns remain solid, this is the hallmark of a K-shaped economy where Main Street continues to lag Wall Street. So this chart here, you see job easy to get minus jobs hard to get, and that generally has a slight lead on the unemployment rate. So we'll be looking at the consumer confidence report to say if this rise in the employment rate is something that is in the short term or something we think will persist into the future. And then this is a weird data calendar. It's front loaded with US Thanksgiving on Thursday. We have a condensed but busy week of data releases. As you can see, they sort of shoved a bunch of stuff in. Yes, the government shutdown is finally behind us. And again, we are in catch-up mode. And it's a bit odd to see data from both August and November hitting in the same week. Right, so we're getting some August data points here. We'll be monitoring all of it, of course, but the most consequential numbers will be the leading indicators for November. And there are several on deck this week. Monday brings the Dallas Fed Index, followed by the Richmond Fed Index, and the Conference Board Consumer Confidence on Tuesday, which we mentioned with our chart. And then we'll get the Chicago PMI on Wednesday. Together, these leading indicators should offer valuable insights into the state of labor markets. Finally, on Wednesday, we'll get the personal consumption expenditures, or PCE, for October. Despite a slowing job market and declining confidence, the U.S. consumer has proven resilient this cycle, supported by stable employment and ongoing credit growth. With consumption accounting for roughly 68% of GDP in the U.S., household spending remains the backbone of the U.S. economy. Until the labor market deteriorates more meaningfully, spending, and by extension earnings and equities, should hold up. To simplify, for consumer pessimism, which we're seeing more and more of, and the K-shaped dynamic that's coming up more and more in the financial media, to translate into real market consequences, we'll first need to see it show up in weaker spending trends. And that's why this week we'll be paying very close attention to that PCE report, the key data point to watch. Other than that, we're also going to get GDP, a second preliminary Q3 on Wednesday, and then we'll get some housing data Tuesday at 9 a.m. As you know here, if you've been following our videos, we love housing data, so we'll definitely be paying attention to that as well. Very weird week. Again, very front-loaded, a lot of stuff on Tuesday, a lot of stuff on Wednesday. We do have Thanksgiving morning initial claims. If you're up watching that on Thanksgiving morning, more power to you. And then Friday, we have nothing. And that's where I'm going to leave you here today. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving week for those in the U.S. Hope you all have a great week. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these videos. And I'll see you right back here next week for another Macro Monday.